Final Fantasy VIII has quickly shot up to one of my favorite Final Fantasy games of all time, and part of that is thanks to Squall's character. For a long time, Tidus from Final Fantasy X was my favorite protagonist, along with Cecil from 4, but Squall just really resonated with me, and I think he's quite often misunderstood as an asshole or an unpleasant character, and yes, sometimes he is a little bit standoffish, but I wanted to give some insight of how I interpreted his character, especially as a neurodivergent person. First of all, we have to consider Squall is only 17 years old. He is a child and a child soldier at that. Not to mention, Squall is constantly put into all these unpredictable scenarios. For example, the Timber mission where he meets Rinoa blowing up into what the story ultimately became of having to stop the sorceress, and Sid even making him the leader of the garden and kind of just shirking all of the adult responsibilities onto the 17-year-old that just feels so horribly overwhelmed. You know, a lot of people also try to push him to become more open and social, especially Rinoa, which can be a little bit overwhelming. And so yes, he might just say some very cynical things or just try to push people away, but as the story unfolds and we learn about his past and his trauma, we see that he's actually very vulnerable and afraid to be forgotten and left behind again. Why make friends if it's only temporary? Why go through that heartbreak again? When Rinoa goes into a coma because of Ultimecia's possession, we see Squall have a complete breakdown and he just starts freaking out, and it seems like it's completely out of nowhere. But as a neurodivergent person, and I'm sure just a lot of other people can relate to this, when you have a constant and a regular in your life, when that is just taken away from you all of a sudden without any explanation, it causes you to freak out. And, you know, he does care about Rinoa. He does care about his friends, and he doesn't want to put them in danger. So clearly when Rinoa is not doing well, he just obsesses over how can I fix it? How can I help her? And ultimately, Squall just opens up and becomes this very brave character, and I really just admire him for that. What do you think of Squall?